My my peoples, we live in 8 minutes. Get ready for that smoke, y'all. Yeah. My peoples, my peoples, welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. You guys know how we get down. We talking boxing, y'all. Let me kick this thing off by saying happy Wednesday to everybody. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Y'all know how we get down. Y'all know what we about to do. Let me give a shout out, man. Everybody tuning in. Y'all already know what it is. Sai in the building, Toy Mafia, and everybody else tuning in. Salute my peoples. Let's kick this thing off right away. Let's not even waste no time. Jake Paul says that he won 2 rounds versus Anthony Joshua. Now, you're entitled to your opinion, right? You're entitled to that. But according to Jake Paul, he won the first 2 rounds, then he lost 2 rounds, and then he got stopped. So it was a close fight, according to what he had to say. Now, I see a lot of people praising Jake Paul, saying, look, man, he went 6 rounds. He was able to go, further than Francis Ngannou and all of this stuff. And I get it, man. It's like you want to give the guy credit. I give him credit for climbing in the ring with AJ. That takes a lot. But the whole went 6 rounds, let's be realistic, my people. We know exactly why Jake Paul was able to go 6 rounds. We know the tactics that he used to pretty much survive. Jake Paul was out there surviving, my peoples. We all know that. So Francis Ngannou got knocked out early because he showed up thinking he could win that fight. Francis Ngannou stepped in the ring with AJ, actually trying to win it and put himself in the line of fire. While Jake Paul was out there surviving, Francis Ngannou was in the line of fire and got slept. Look, if Jake would have went out there actually trying to win this fight, he would have got knocked out in the first round. Brutally. Some guy, he didn't even box. Devin, everybody would take that ass whooping for 8 figures. No hate. I said that yesterday. But in a way, you have to look at that like a double-edged sword, right? Because if you're like, oh, we're giving him all this credit, like, oh my God, he fought AJ. But bro, I'm 5'5", 140 right now, 138. I'll get in there with AJ right now. No weight clause, no rehydration clause, nothing for 90 mil. Give me 10 mil. I'll step in there with AJ. Like this, weighing 138, and he could weigh 260. So Jake Paul made a lot of money in this fight. But he says he won 2 rounds. That's according to him. I'm not making it up. You guys probably seen the video already where he says it very comfortably. May I add. I think that Jake Paul is someone who's very good at rage baiting. Because when you think about the fight and how it all played out, it's like he's delusional to say that he won 2 rounds. You're literally trying to survive a beating. Trying to survive getting slept, and then eventually do get slept. How do you feel like you won 2 rounds? That's insane. In those first 2 rounds, at most, Jake Paul landed 4 or 5 punches. At most. I don't get it. I don't know what he's talking about. So I think he does that to tap into people's emotions. Because it does. I heard him saying that I started to feel triggered. I started to feel like, damn, yo, this guy's upsetting me. You really saying that you won 2 rounds and you mean it, and then the goofballs that are there with you agree to, like, yeah, for sure. Size, salute, bro. What's the deal, my G? Underrated Will in the building. You know what we doing, man. We talking this boxing stuff. Let me know. Do you guys think Jake Paul won the first 2 rounds? That's how he felt about it. That's how Jake Paul felt about it. Son of Von, if I'm Joshua, I fight Chase Demore for another 100 mil. Nah, I don't think that fight makes 100 mil. Honestly, I don't think that's $100 million fight. They could both make good money, but I think that for AJ, this may have been a one-off. Just because with Jake Paul, you could make so much money that he wasn't going to turn it down. And he wanted to give him that beating that everybody wanted to see Jake Paul take. Because, let's be honest, a lot of people felt a sense of satisfaction watching Jake Paul take that pummeling. My people. People wanted to see that. People wanted to see Jake Paul get knocked out. And here's the crazy thing about it. The overwhelming majority of people were saying that he was going to sleep. The betting odds suggested he was going to sleep. He goes to sleep, and people still want to say that it was scripted. Let that sizzle in your spirit. Devin, off topic. But what you think about Jermaine Ortiz versus Richardson Hitchens on Shakur's undercard, on Tio Shakur undercard? I love that fight, man. That's a real good fight. And I'm going to be talking about that. I haven't made a prediction. Going to be talking about a real good fight. Hogs baffle Worth. He didn't go to sleep. You're right, he didn't go to sleep. Got knocked out brutally. Joe broken in 2 places, and Joe wired shut. Man, that's rather brutal if you ask me. Jake Paul took a nasty, nasty beating, and I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all, man. It's not just that he lost; it's the way that he lost. Like, you was rolling around the floor like a goofball. How you rolling around, hugging a man's knees? That was not a good look at all. Side J. Smith, do you see the viewership for AJ, Jake? Of course, we're gonna talk about that. Don't worry, we're gonna address that, my G. You know I get down with the facts. Like I said, man, my favorite line: no conspiracies, no cap, no clickbait, no making stuff up just to get a reaction. We talking facts. That's how we doing it. Son of Von, Ward probably wants Joshua even more now. Can he win? Look, man, Andre Ward wanted to fight Joshua when he was an undefeated world champion. I'm not sure if right now he wants that fight. Because, number one, AJ's not a world champion. Number two, AJ, hasn't been a champion in a little while now. So I don't think his win over Jake Paul is enough for Andre Ward to say, yeah, I want to fight you. Now, if he becomes a world champion, then that's a different story. That's a different story. Side, but still the face of boxing. We have to talk about that. Side, Jake been exposed. In reality, I thought that he was exposing himself to himself. I felt like after this fight, the way that it played out, Jake Paul was finally gonna say, nah, man, you know what? I can't mess with these people. It's different over here. That's what I thought we was gonna get from Jake Paul. Because remember, right after the fight, they asked him what's next. He said he wasn't gonna fight a heavyweight, He's going to move down to cruiserweight and eventually pursue a title. So he kind of got humbled down because he didn't come out of that pummeling talking about I'm the best and I'm going to beat the best and he didn't do none of that. So he got humbled down. But then when he says that he won the first 2 rounds, it's almost like he's rage baiting. Like he want to piss people off. Like, how you going to say you won 2 rounds? You was out there rolling in the floor like a golf ball. Gifted guys, AJ not going to be so soft. A pro. He going to go harder than that. So soft on a pro, he going to go harder than that. Now, look, I don't think AJ was soft at all. At all in this fight. I think AJ went out there for a real fight and did exactly what he went to do. He wasn't soft. Look at AJ fights. It's not like he's a super fast starter. He blows people out of there in the first round. He doesn't do that. He'll work on you and get you out of there eventually. So, you see, the notion that AJ was supposed to just step in there and knock him out, nah, that's false. People want to believe that, but that's not the way that it works out. You got to land that punch. And with a Jake Paul that was mobile, that was clearly not trying to stand there and fight, it's hard to knock out somebody that's not engaging you. So as soon as Jake Paul's legs ran out of gas and he couldn't run anymore, what happened? He started to get beat up. That's it. He started to get teed up on. Jake, do you think Jake is a mockery to boxing? What do you not like about him? I mean, there's different ways to look at it because he's bringing a lot of eyes to boxing. I would never say that he's a mockery because right now MVP Promotion is a major player in women's boxing. Dare I say they're the biggest player in the game. Why? Because right now MVP Promotions has more female champions than Golden Boy, more than Matchroom, more than Top Rank, more than Queensbury. So they're a force to be reckoned with. Jake Paul, when it comes to his promotional company, they're a leader in women's boxing. Now, his boxing career itself, he'll never be an elite level fighter. He'll never be a world champion. And if you think that he's going to be, you're delusional, bro. You're delusional. What we saw in Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua is a fighter who was completely outclassed. If you're completely outclassed, the only way that you can last is by running. Because the moment we engage, you get beat up. Claymore Reigns, salute my brother in the building. What's the dilly? Morning to the West Indian Oracle Box Center with Jay Smith. What's the word? Salute my brother. Yo, Jake Paul says that he won 2 rounds. I don't know if he believed that or if he's rage baiting. Because I felt something, when he said that, I felt like I was getting triggered, bro. Like, damn, this motherfucker. You get beat up and you still say shit like that? God damn. And this is the reason why Jake Paul was the goofiest of the oofiest. Because think about the way that fight was playing out, right? Jake Paul rolling around the floor, eating some big shots. And what was he doing? Going like this to AJ. Huh? Bro, you getting pummeled out there. And then when he gets dropped the second time, jaw broken in 2 places, what he do when the camera get in front of him? My mans, I know you hurt. I know you could barely move your jaw from having it broken in 2 places. What is you doing celebrating and sticking your tongue out, man? Do you not realize what just happened? Son of Vaughn. We need an American heavyweight boxing prospect, though, on Joshua Edwards. Son of Vaughn. Rhea Season and MVP. Listen, man, right now, if you think about it, the heavyweight division is going to be up for grabs real soon. Like, who's going to be the next heavyweight to run the show? AJ still got an opportunity to become a world champion, right? But if you look at Usyk, he's in his late 30s. If you look at Tyson Fury, he's in his late 30s. If you look at all these heavyweights that have been running the heavyweight division for quite some time, they're going to be on their way out soon. So we're going to be looking at Italma. We're going to be looking at Turmoana. We're going to be looking at other heavyweights. Let's see if Jared Anderson get his shit together. The heavyweight division is going to be up for grabs, my peoples. Remember that I told you this. Keep that in mind, fellas. My peoples. My peoples. My peoples. Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez is going down on January 31st. I'm super excited about this fight. This is that fight. Oh, I didn't mention Fabio Wardley. I did not mention Fabio Wardley. Nah, because Jai Opetaia is not a heavyweight. I did not mention Fabio Wardley. Whoa. He been disrespected by a lot of fans who say he just punched, he just hit hard. Nah, my peoples. Nah. If you saw Fabio Wardley versus Joseph Parker, you saw the hand speed, you saw the whip-like jab, you saw the footwork, the angles. Fabio Wardley can box. He's a problem in the heavyweight division. He a problem. But my people, Shakur Lopez and Teofimo, I said Shakur Lopez. Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez is about to go down. Ladies and gentlemen, what a fight we're going to get. I already see the haters coming up with their different narratives about how Teo lost to Cambosos. Teo lost already. Because they find their ways to diminish if Shakur Stevenson wins. They find their ways to say, but who's the favorite to win this fight? Somebody, I haven't seen the odds myself, but somebody told me that Shakur is the favorite. I'm like, damn, he moving up in weight. He's going to be the favorite in this fight? Underrated Will. You think Teo Shakur is a 50-50 fight? It's close to it. It's close to it. Omar Faston. Yes, up for grabs. Look, the heavyweight division is up for grabs, and right now, the 140 division is up for grabs. Think about this. You have these two guys about to mix it up. Look at the champions. Look at the people coming up in that division. The winner of this fight is going to say, this division is mine. But look at everybody that's at 140, and look at the people that's at 135 looking to move up. Golly, my peoples. My peoples, I'm going to take a 45-second commercial break, and we're going to discuss this. We're going to make prediction. You guys got to say who you got winning this fight. Don't wait for the fight and then be like, oh, yeah, I knew that was going to happen. I knew who was going to win. Nah, my people. Don't do that. You got to put it right there who you think is going to win this fight. Let it be known. Y'all already know, my people. This is another episode of Boxing for Breakfast. I'll be back with you shortly. About 45 seconds. Get this hydration going. See you in a few. My people, we back in the buildings. We back in the buildings. Teofimo Lopez, Shakur Stevenson. It's about to go down, y'all. Claymore Rain. How many different versions of Teo have we seen? We have seen Shakur box, stand and fight, and destroy the body against Padley, piece up Herring, and not get hit when he doesn't want to. Man, it's tough to make an argument against that, family, because Shakur Stevenson has proven that he's one of the most versatile fighters in the game. He can beat your ass in a football field or inside of the phone booth. How you want to do it? Teofimo Lopez, I would say his problem is consistency. We've seen him perform at the highest level and then also struggle. And even struggle versus lesser opponents that we felt he should have dominated. So that's going to be a factor. That's going to be something to consider going into the fight. Side, the best Teo can beat the worst Shakur. Bottom line. But you also have to take one thing into consideration when you say that, Side. Teo has knockout power. And anything can happen in boxing. So if he hurts Shakur, things could go crazy. Things could go south. Do we believe Shakur has or is going to do the necessary to avoid that power? We shall see. Y'all know my official prediction is coming on Box Center 2.0, by the way. You see it right there on the link. Subscribe to Box Center 2.0, my people. That official Jay Stradamus prediction is coming through. Underrated Will. Teo is like Jack in the Box. He can surprise people, but I think Shakur wins it. This is going to be a good competitive fight, y'all. And you know who I actually compare this? And I find this super interesting. Let me say this. I find this very, very interesting. Check this out. The other day I said, this fight makes me think of Sugar Ray Leonard versus Marvin Hagler. It made me think about that because obviously Sugar Ray Leonard, the best and the face of boxing at the time, or one of them, and we know what he brought to the table as far as the skill set, the pure boxer that can punch. But then he had a fighter in front of him who was in Marvelous Marvin Hagler, who was going to keep going forward, keep punching, keep applying the pressure, keep landing big shots. You have to fight him. A guy like Hagler, you're not going to dance circle around him. You're going to have to fight. And Sugar Ray Leonard did the necessary to walk out of there with the dub. So, again, I'm not making predictions, but this is a similar fight because Teofimo Lopez is going to apply pressure. He's going to try to impose his power on Shakur Stevenson. He's going to go in there with the mindset of, I may not be able to outbox you, but I can outgun you. I can force you into a fight. And then, because I believe that's the way that Teofimo has a chance to win it. If he can force Shakur into a fight and into a situation that's not what he want to do. Force him outside of his game plan. But then again, you guys know that Shakur knows how to make adjustments. We've seen him do it on the inside, on the outside, mid-range, all of it. Claymore Rain. Teo either effectively executes or gets frustrated when his opponents don't cooperate. Let's see if Teo shows up the challenger or if he's not as versatile as people think he is. What's plan B? You see, versus George Cambosos, we saw that there was no plan B and how that all played out. So if he is being outboxed early on, let's see if he's going to be able to make adjustments or if he's just going to get cooked. Side, Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran. And you saw that Sugar Ray Leonard lost that first fight, went back into the rematch, did what he had to do, made those adjustments. World free speech. Salute. Bam. Salute to everybody tuning in, man. But what's up with the ghost watching, my peoples? Hit that like button. Double tap that screen, man. I've been cooking this healthy dosage of sweet science, and I don't even got 20 likes. Golly. Diabolical. Z4. Joshua toyed with that boy. Drags him to the deep waters. Yo, where do you rank Roberto Duran all time? Roberto Duran, top 10. He's a top 10. Top 10 all time. It's hard for me to put a number on it right now off the top of my head. But listen. I spoke too soon. Maybe top 20. Maybe top 20, but he's way, way up there. But I'm not sure. I got to really, really digest it. Claymore Rain. Jermaine Ortiz, no plan B. Sander Martin, no plan B. Steve Claggett, no plan B. You see, those are fights that even though he won, but he struggled. And didn't look good. And people were saying that he lost some of those fights. Z4, top 10 for sure, brother. Love all the way from Ireland. Ooh, Ireland is in the building. Salute, my G. Been getting love from Ireland. I don't know how you guys found me, but appreciate you tuning in, family. Listen, Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson. I believe this is going to be a super competitive showdown, and we shall see. I got people telling me that Shakur's going to get knocked out. I got people telling me Teofimo Lopez is going to make it look easy. He's going to beat him up. Shakur's not going to be able to keep him off of him. That whole, he don't got no power, so we shall see, my peoples. January 31st is going down. We know that for sure. Now, moving on to the next one, my peoples. Moving on to the next one. Tank Davis. My people's Tank Davis. We know that right now he doesn't have an opponent lined up yet. But the expectations are that he's going to be at 140 when he comes back. Claymore Rain. Will Teo be forced to adjust? Errol was faced with that issue. No plan B. Damn, man. Let me find out. Are you suggesting that Teo might get arrowed? Look. Man, damn, Claymore Rain, my brother. I'd like to believe that Teofimo is going to be more competitive than Errol. Man. But you're talking about Shakur Stevenson. So things could go one-sided. It can actually happen. Now, right now, I'm saying, and I want to hold on to that, just because I even think it's better for boxing. Right? I think it's better for boxing if we get a good fight than if we get a one-sided beatdown. If we get a one-sided beatdown, it's great for that fighter, but it's better if we get a good fight that everybody's talking about, everybody's enjoying it, and fight of the year, all this kind of stuff. You know, if we have Shakur finally having to pull out everything out of the bag of tools, I think it's better than if he cruises to an easy win. And finally, people say, whoa, look at everything he did to walk out of there with that W. Underrated Will. Teo is way faster than Errol. Teo is speedy. But fighting when it comes to Shakur, let's see. Let's see how Teofimo Lopez and Shakur is going to go down. But, my peoples, Tank Davis is one of the fighters that we know he's one of the most popular boxers in the game. Let me shift to Tank Davis real quick. And we know that obviously he was going to fight Anthony Joshua. That fight didn't happen, and now they're saying that supposedly they're going to take legal action or something like that. But I don't know any of that information to be factual. But what I don't expect is for Tank Davis to retire. I think we're actually going to see him in 2026. So, who are the people that we could potentially see in the ring with Tank Davis? I know Pitbull's name was floated out, like possibly, doing that rematch. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm not really excited about that rematch, just because Tank Davis beat him in the first fight with one hand. I was calling that fight live, and I specifically mentioned when Tank hurt his hand. He actually hit Pitbull, bang, and was like, ugh. He made a sound like from the pain, from the shot. And then you guys remember, and I said during the live, yo, he's hurt. He hurt his hand. And after the fight, when he took out the boxing glove, man, his hand looked like a boxing glove. Tank Davis' damn hand was swole up like crazy. And he still beat him. So I believe if they fight again, Tank is gonna outbox him. Tank is gonna outbox him, make it a easier win and a more convincing win. So, being that I already know how this plays out and I already saw the first one, I'm not. But if they fight, guess what? We're all gonna tune in. Of course, I'm gonna watch the fight. Tank Davis is one of the most popular fighters in the game, and may I add, let's keep it real, my peoples. Tank Davis is one of the most skilled fighters in the game. One of the hardest punchers, pound for pound. One of the best counter punches in the game. Ring IQ is off the chart. Footwork is crazy. Tank Davis has all the tools in the bag. So we just want to see him fight the bigger names. We want to see him fight Shakur, fight Devin, fight Tio. But that doesn't take away from the talent that we already know he has. Claymore Rain, he will fight Pitbull, in my opinion, then pull up a Morataya or Schofield Jr. Ooh, you see, I like those fights. I like both of those fights. Claymore Rain, he won't fight nobody he want. That dude is chips. Let's see, man. Look, this is my hope, Claymore Rain. My hope is that they offer him so much money that he says, you know what, let's make these fights. Let's make it. Let's make it. Because I think if he is holding on to that O, is that O going to be worth to him more than $50 million? I don't know. I don't know if he's going to say, damn, yo, nah, I need to keep my O. Forget that 50 mil. I think he's going to make those fights. Claymore Rain, who will offer him the money? Turkey already tried, and he asked for 2 Ferraris. Oh, man, the 2 Ferrari stuff. Yeah, that was goofy. That was goofy. I think that's the reason why that relationship just couldn't work out. From the very beginning, you demanding stuff. I remember His Excellency Turkey Alashi responded by saying, I'll send you 2 pair of boxing gloves. That's what I'm sending your ass. Aroma Sound. Tank will get big money fights. Of course. But that's what I'm saying. You know, does he fight Devin Haney, Teofimo, Shakur if they offer him the big bucks? And I think, like, let me give you an example. Right now, Teofimo Lopez, Shakur Stevenson fighting each other. Claymore Rain, let me say this, and I need your take. I need your take on this one. In my opinion, with Terrence Crawford leaving boxing, is going to be a few fighters fighting for that position of the next face of boxing. It's going to be a group. It's not going to be defined, and eventually somebody's going to stand out. I feel like that group is going to be, or most of them I'm mentioning, Jerome Boots Ennis, Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney, David Benavidez, Shakur Stevenson. I feel like those 5, maybe a few more, but those 5 are right there in the running to be the next face of the sport. Um, Xander Sayers, if he is what they say he is, he could be in the running for that too. There's a few fighters out there. But here's my point. From now on, Tank Davis is one of them too, by the way. If he starts winning, if he starts fighting those guys. But my whole point of mentioning all those people is that from here on out, the big wins count to make that decision, to decide who's the guy. I missed Abdullah Mason. You got to put him in there. My bad. Missed Abdullah as well. There's a few I missed. But my point is that from here on out, fighters are laying out the groundwork to who's going to be the guy. So the first big win in that group is going to be whoever wins out of Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson. And let me say something. Yesterday, somebody told me, yo, Jay, you hating on Naoya Inoue. He the face of boxing. He could be the face of boxing. No, he cannot. Naoya Inoue cannot and will not be the face of boxing. And he is potentially the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. And he's always going to be top 3. He's one of the best in the game. And he's going to be an all-time great. But you know why he can't be the face of boxing? For 2 reasons. The combination of those 2 reasons. #1, he's a very small fighter. He's only going to fight in lower weight divisions. And #2, he doesn't speak English. You have a very small guy fighting in lower weight classes who doesn't speak English. You're not going to translate to everybody. Everybody that I mentioned to you has everything, the combination to become the face of the sport. They'll have all the it factors that you need. A smaller guy from a smaller division that don't speak English, nah, you ain't going to be the face of the sport. You're going to be a star amongst the people within the sport. You are one of the best. That's not even a conversation that we need to have. But you're not going to be the face. So the people who told me, now, yeah, you know it, I recognize his talent. The face of boxing, that's something different. Claymore Rain, I agree. But it won't be Tank. I think the next face is of those names you mentioned. Maybe add Abdullah Mason to that list. Yeah, I would definitely put Abdullah in there. Aroma Sound. Tank is still one of the biggest names in boxing. That's a fact. Eye for Eye. Smith, what's good, bro? What's the deal, my G? Bam! We talking boxing. Who is going to be the next face of boxing? It's a group of fighters, and it's going to be somebody within that group that's going to stand out. And that process is going to happen as they start getting big wins after big. Who's getting the biggest wins? Who's beating the biggest names? Well, Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez, they're going to fight each other. Whoever wins that fight is already pushing their name up and separating themselves from everybody else. Now the other guys need to get a win, a big win, so that they can also do the same and separate themselves. And so on and so forth. Let's see who's going to emerge. Claymore Rain. Whoever is able to and willing to make big fights at the same time, who can move the needle. Terrence Crawford has raised the bar. We want the best fighting the best. And the face has to deliver. And that's always been the case. If we look at the previous faces of boxing, they delivered. And that's going to be the case now. All of these guys, you're going to see people making arguments soon enough. No, this is the next face. This guy, this guy, this guy. But they're going to show who the next face inside the ring. That's how we're going to really find out. 419. Brett Kroger. Kid from the 216 is going to be in the line next. Who's that, my brother? Drop that name. Cameron Terrell. Salute, Jay Smith. Salute, my brother. Appreciate you dropping in. Super the Great. What's the deal, family? Aroma Sound. The closest popularity would be between Ryan and Devin. So you have to understand that to be the face of boxing, it's always been a combination of two things: popularity and accomplishments. Ryan Garcia doesn't have the accomplishments to become the face of boxing. He can become super popular. He can become one of the guys, right? But he's not going to be the face of the sport. Devin Haney can do it. Aroma Sound. Then David Benavidez and Boots, they're in it. Shakur as well, they're in it. Those are the guys that I mentioned. Clay Moraine. I know he ain't talking about Schofield Jr. His dad said he ain't allowed to leave Texas. Oh, man. Listen, I don't like that relationship. You know why? Because to me, it looks like his pops treat his son like he's a little boy. It's like, yo, come on, bro. Come on, Schofield. That's not a little boy that you got. That's a grown man. Why you acting like he's a kid? So honestly, man, the relationship between he and his pops, I don't understand it, man. I think it's odd, to say the least. But that's just my perception, my people. That's my perception. I want to see Floyd Schofield and Abdullah Mason. I want to see that fight. If y'all for real, and it looks like they don't want it, because they already said something crazy like, oh, we need $10 million to make that fight. It's almost like $10 million is the mythical figure you ask for when you want to duck. Nah, I need $10 million. Okay, we know the fight's not happening. You don't want to fight. Clay Moraine. Schofield Jr. is a little boy. His dad mind effed him. He may be too far gone. I'm saying, though, man. Hold on. Hold on, Clay Moraine. Because watch this. Watch this. Schofield Jr. He's 23 years old. He's a grown man. Floyd Schofield is 23 years old. Look at it right there. Don't take my word for it, right? You know I fact check myself. He a grown man. How his pops be acting like he got a teenager? Eye for eye. Richardson Hitchens could be with the right moves. What you think? Richardson Hitchens is a fighter who's very talented, got that old school mentality, and he's going to accomplish a lot. He's going to accomplish a lot. I can see that. However, I want you to take this into consideration. Look at the guys that I mentioned, right? Teofimo Lopez, Shakur Stevenson, Jerron Bruce Ennis. If you look at the names that I mentioned, David Benavidez, they're all more accomplished than Richardson Hitchens, who became a champion. I think he has one title defense. So it would be tough for him to become the face of boxing because he's behind on accomplishments and popularity of all of those guys that I mentioned. For you to emerge outside of that group and you become the face of boxing, you'd have to go in and start beating guys in that group. Bam, bam, bam. That would be tough, but boxing is boxing, right? Clay Moraine, on paper, he is. But I gotta be honest about what I see. Time will tell for him. I can't call it. Are you talking about Richardson Hitchens? You don't believe in Richardson Hitchens, bro? I like Hitchens, man. I like his style. I know that he struggled versus some opponents, but I like what he brings to the table, bro. I like the aggressiveness. I like the way that he can slip punches and counter, footwork. He a complete fighter. I see a complete fighter in Richardson Hitchens. And I'm going to tell you what, guys, the 140 division is going to be crazy. Going to be crazy, my people. Hold on, I'm looking for something over here. Hold on, my people. I'm looking for something over here that needs to be addressed. My peoples, what do you guys think about this right here. Claymore Ray. No, I was talking about Schofield. Oh, I was like, damn, because Hitchison is for real, for real. My peoples, what do y'all think about that image, man? I'm going to grab me a glass of water, check out this image, and let me know what you think about that. My peoples, um, Canelo Alvarez versus Terrence Buck Crawford did 40 million views on Netflix. Actually, 41 million. Let me add that 1 million. And before Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua went down, oh, Claymore Rain, 47 million. Beautiful. Look at that. 47 million. Now, before Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua took place, we had that conversation. And a lot of people said that that fight was going to, do a lot more views than Buck versus Canelo because Jake Paul's a bigger star and AJ. And, well, it did not. Terrence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez did over 10 million more than AJ versus Jake. So the championship fight between the two all-time great fighters did better than the 8-rounder between the boxer who's learning and the world championship caliber boxer who was supposed to knock him out and did so. Terrence Crawford, the face of boxing. Deal with it. Eye for eye. Bro has a nasty Viper Cobra, Hitman Hearns type of jab. Pop, pop. That whip-like joint. That whip jab. Boxing on paper, man. It's been a minute since Live allowed to join this great platform. Appreciate you jumping in, my brother. Wishing everyone a great Christmas. Yo, Jay, what you get around for Christmas, man? Then to boxing. I got him a few toys. He wanted a little remote control car. Got him that. Wanted a little tablet. Got him that little video games. He couldn't even wait. I already gave him most of his gifts. So now, in order to give him a Christmas gift, I'm going to have to go out and buy him some more because he couldn't wait to open everything up, bro. When you have a 4-year-old, just hide the gifts until Christmas. I already gave him everything he asked me for. Now I'm going to have to go out and get him something else. But, my peoples, you guys see how Terrence Crawford became the face of boxing. Right there. It says 41 million, but Claymore clarified it. 47 million views versus 33 million views from Jake Paul versus AJ. You gotta respect it. The people that say Terrence Crawford don't sell, Terrence Crawford don't do nothing, Terrence Crawford ain't making no money, the $100 million guy. He got more money than all their favorite fighters combined. eye for eye. Cinnamon should not get back in the ring with Terrence Crawford. I agree with you 100%. Because the fight is either going to play out the same way or worse. Terrence Crawford will put the Swiss, the Dre, and the Apple beats on Canelo Alvarez if they rematch. You could take that to the bank to get some pounds. Boxing on paper, I still haven't caught the full fight. But regardless of anything, he did miles better than I thought he would. When you say he did better, who are you referring to? Are you referring to Jake Paul? Nah, I'm going to have to... Look, so let me give you my breakdown of Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. Because I want you to see my perspective on that fight, right? And what I'm taking into consideration. Please take... I want you guys to take this into consideration as well. Jake Paul's a guy who has been training in boxing right now for like 5-6 years. Been training in boxing, right? So at this point, I know that people are on denial about him. They want to think that he's a fake boxer, that he's not a real boxer and all of this stuff. But if you take anybody out there at 22 years old and you train them for 5 years straight with the same resources that Jake Paul is training, with the same trainers, with the same sparring partners, in the same gyms, with the same nutrition, my peoples, you're going to get somebody that's going to know how to box in 5-6 years. Not going to be an elite level fighter. Not going to be somebody who become a world champion. But he's going to learn how to box. I promise you, there's a lot of boxers out there that Jake Paul whoops their ass if they fight. And you guys tuning in, Jake Paul definitely sleeping you early so he could box. So what we have to understand is that he deployed survival tactics for the first 4 rounds. That anybody who has been training for 5-6 years can do what he did, my people. Jake Paul did nothing special in this fight. Absolutely nothing. He survived 6 rounds because he found a way to not engage. I'm going to move here, I'm going to move here, I'm going to move here. Then I'm going to jab and clinch you. Then I'm going to keep moving. Then I'm going to 1-2 and clinch you. Then I'm going to keep moving. He survived the first 4 rounds. He didn't fight through the first 4 rounds. There was never a moment where it looked like he's actually trying to win this fight. That never happened. Never happened. He was out there getting beat up, my people. The moment the legs wasn't there to run around, he was out there to get beat up. Poor BS fight. He was out there to get beat up. And that's exactly what happened. But let me give you an example, my people. Let me give you an example. Right now, I'm 47 years old. Right now, I'm 47. You put me with a fighter, a champion. Hold on, my people. I lost my train of thought for a second. Eye for eye. The first 4 rounds is when they allowed Jake Paul to ride on illegal mopped in a 100-foot ring. So let me tell you something. I'm 47 years old. You put me in there with a champion. Right? Well, not right now. I get a training camp, right? Just like Jake Paul. And I guarantee you I could survive 4 rounds, 5 rounds, 6 rounds before getting knocked out by doing the same thing he did. I have the skill set to do exactly what he did. Any trained boxer can survive rounds. There's nothing special. Now, it would have been special if he would have boxed with AJ, exchange. That would have been special. Like, whoa, you trading with a heavyweight champion of the world, winning exchanges. But to do what he did, my peoples, you take a random guy in a gym that's been training for a couple of years, and they'll be able to do that before ultimately getting knocked out. When you run out of gas, you're getting knocked out. When you can't run anymore, you're getting knocked out. That's what happened. So I don't really want to hear about, well, he lasted a whole 6 rounds. A whole 6 rounds, he ran out of gas. Ran out of gas by 4. You know what Jake Paul really lasted? He lasted 2 rounds. He did not engage those first 4 rounds. Anybody can last 6 rounds doing that. Anybody. I Jay had the first ringside Kawasaki, fully diesel. Damn. Sensei, he went 6 rounds with a gold medalist and unified world champion. You won't last 1 round. He gets the credit. Nah, I go 6 rounds too. Trust me. You put me in there in the same circumstances with somebody bigger and stronger than me, and I go 6 rounds. But I'm going to go 6 rounds exactly like Jake Paul. I'm going to use my footwork. I'm going to run around, throw an occasional jab, an occasional 1-2, and keep running. And eventually, when I run out of gas, I'm going to get knocked out like Jake Paul. But I'll go rounds. As long as my legs is under me and I can move and I'm not even trying to win, you'd be surprised. I go a bunch of rounds. Right now, not right now. Go to training camp. 8 weeks. I go 6 rounds before running out of gas and getting knocked out. Boxing on paper, Jay Smith trying to get a Jake Paul payday. Nah. Not Jake Paul because he's too big for me. I'm only 5'5", bro. Right now I'm weighing like 140. I can't step in the ring with no Jake Paul. But I'm telling you, you put me there with a championship caliber fighter, right after a training camp, and I'll go 6 rounds and then go to sleep. Probably take a body shot, just take a knee on my own. Fuck it. I'll go 7 rounds and then just take a knee. Fuck it. Beat Jake Paul. I'm out of here. I'll booger. I give Jake credit for stepping in there, but 0 credit for the way he ran and kept dropping to his knees. But that's what I'm talking about. He went 6 rounds because he survived. The first 4 rounds, he was on full-on survival mode. And when his legs gave up, round number 5, he started to get pummeled. Round number 6, he got finished. That's the way the cookie crumbles. And why Anthony Joshua didn't kill him in round number 1 or 2? Well, my brother, Anthony Joshua doesn't have the ability to take off his hand and fling it across the ring and hit him with it. For you to produce a knockout, you have to be engaging with your opponent, and they have to be engaging with you. You don't knock people out that you're chasing them around. It just doesn't happen that way. That's why people don't understand that if you watch the fight, you should know what hit and knock him out. How do you knock out somebody that's across the ring? And when you close the gap, he goes to the other side of the ring. You can't knock somebody out like that, bro. Boxing on paper, how long will you go against Tank? 6-month training camp. Damn, bro, you want to put me against somebody that's going to sleep me with 1 shot? And that's mad fast? That's not even fair, bro. Fuck out of here, B. God damn. I guarantee you I'll go 2 rounds. He won't knock me out in the first round. But it's not... See, the thing is that you can't put me with Tank because he's somebody that's going to be way too faster than me with the footwork. So I'm not going to be able to run from him. He's going to knock me out early. You got to put me with somebody that my footwork is going to be faster, just like Jake Paul is faster than a much bigger AJ. That's not fair. Damn, the nigga put me in there with Tank Davis. Diablo, loco. Trying to see me. Yo, you don't want to see no more boxing for breakfast, B? You want this shit to just be over? Because you trying to get me killed. Golly. Ishmael, greetings from boxing fans. Shout out, fam. Call Jake Paul, it's a clown. Jester of boxing, point blank, period. So, we were talking about, and this was just yesterday, we was talking about who was the goofiest of the oofiest. Is it Jake Paul or Andrew Tate? And let me tell you something, man. Jake Paul, I don't know, man. The way that he was acting before the fight, during the fight, and after the fight, he came off pretty goofy. Claymore Reign, Jay Smith versus David Benavidez. I tell you what, you put me in there with Benavidez, he gonna knock me out after my legs is done. Because there's gonna be zero engagement. He not gonna catch me inside that ring, bro. Zero engagement. And then when you know what happens when the legs go out, time to go to sleep. Wes does it. Good morning, brother Jay Smith. Salute, family. Bam. Al Booger. I said Tate. At least Jake got the monster bag. So Andrew Tate actually was voted in as last week's goofiest of the oofiest. And the reason he was voted in is because he looked like a fraud. Bro, he looked like a fraud. How you talking about you're a 4-time world kickboxing champion and you're gonna kill this guy? You got me feeling like I'm a golf ball because I'm telling people you're gonna kill this guy. You got beat up by a dude named Chase Demore. Chase Demore? And when I look that dude up, I watch him getting beat up. He can't even fight. He throwing punches like he can't box his way out of a wet paper bag. And that's the guy that beat your ass, Mr. 4-time world kickboxing champion, looking like you don't even know how to throw a punch? That's crazy. Andrew Tate was out there looking like a goofball. Goofball, my peoples. Ramirez J. Smith, I rock with you, bro. But now, my brother, you're a journeyman as a boxer. I am a journeyman. And what is Jake Paul? What is Jake Paul? You think Jake Paul is more than a journeyman? He done already got beat by 2 boxers. He never beat a single boxer yet. 0-2 versus boxer. What you think Jake Paul is? Ramirez, kickboxing is different. And plus, Tate been in jail for months and hasn't fought in decades. Bro, kickboxing, listen to it. Kickboxing. I actually trained in a gym where they had kickboxers training. Look, when I was a kid, I trained in kickboxing, but I was only like 15. But as an adult, when I boxed, I've been in the gym with kickboxers. Kickboxers are very good punchers. Very good punchers. He did not look like a very good puncher. And the one thing I could tell you, no matter how much time you've been out of boxing, you're going to be rusty with your timing, with your accuracy, but your mechanics never go away, fam. Your mechanics will never go away. You're always going to know how to throw your punches. So, let me give you an example. I was an amateur boxer, bro. The last time that I boxed competitively, my last fight was in the Golden Gloves in 1998. No, my bad. 1999. No, was it 98 or 99? 98 or 99. I don't remember. That's my last competitive fight, right? Then I only have one fight as a professional. That was at 44 years old. So based on that logic, haven't been in a ring in a long time, right? I obviously be rusty if I box with somebody. But my mechanics, I'm still supposed to know, I'm still supposed to look like I've been in the ring. Andrew Tate looked like he never thrown a punch in his life out there. He looked pretty trash. Pretty trash if you ask me. And look, let me show you what I mean, bro. Let me show you what I mean. 47 years old. Now, if I tell you, yo, I used to box, and you call me out on it, and you're like, oh, you used to box? Let me see you shadow. Let me see your hands, right? If you see my hands, you're supposed to know if I box or not. So now, right, I'm not just talking. I'm going to show you guys. You look at my hands. And I'm not telling you to say if I look elite, if I look great, if none of that. I'm just telling you, does it look like I actually boxed when you see my hands? Check. Check it, my people. Hold on, Ryan, hold on. Kind of winded. God damn. Whew. Kind of winded because I ain't been training. But if you see somebody's hands, you're supposed to know. You're supposed to know if they've actually boxed or if they just talking. So Andrew Tate going like this. When you ever seen a trained boxer punching like this? Huh? Nah, bro, nah. And let me say something. People been calling Andrew Tate a fraud. He actually removed 4-time kickboxing champion from his Twitter, from his shit, from his bio. Removed it. He came off like a fraud, man. Came off like he can't punch. You a kickboxer. You're supposed to be a world championship caliber kickboxer. I don't care how much inactivity you have. I don't care if you haven't fought in a long time or you was in jail. You're supposed to look like a former world champion. He didn't look like that. When I throw punches, I'm supposed to look like a former boxer. Whether you think I'm whack or I'm no good, but I'm supposed to look like I've been in the ring. Andrew Tate looked like they grabbed him out of a Taco Bell somewhere and threw him inside of a ring. It's like they grabbed the guy that's the janitor in Taco Bell and the guy that's flipping burgers in Burger King, and they fought each other. That's how that fight looked. Wes Dustin, Silva looked like a boxer. Facts. Facts. He's been training in boxing. He's been boxing and he's been winning. I don't think that he'll be able, obviously, to compete versus higher level opponents. Silva's older, but he did way better than Andrew Tate and Jake Paul. That's for sure. Ryan, tell Tate he's not supposed to stop somebody's fist with his face. Man, he was beating up Chase Demore's fist with his eyes, with his nose, face, all of it. Ishmael, but like you said, facts, 1,000,000%. Come on, my brother. Come on now. Look, man, this dude had me convinced that he was going to inflict all type of damage on Chase DeMar, only to go out there looking like a goofball. He was rolling around the floor just like Jake Paul. They look like two goofballs out there. Wes Dustin, do you see Silva say to Andre Ward that he will never stop competing? And I know that he loves to compete. That's not a good mindset to have. Not a good mindset to have, because what's going to happen is that you're going to end up punch drunk. And even when people start seeing those signs, they'll let you keep fighting because you don't want to stop. My peoples, I'm going to go ahead and take a 1-minute break. Y'all already know what it is. We talking boxing. Salute to everybody tuning in. This episode of Boxing for Breakfast still got more boxing to go, my people. Stay tuned in. I'll be right back with y'all. Peoples. My peoples, we back in the building. Salute to everybody tuning in. Welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. My peoples, we've been going for an hour and a half, and I don't even got 30 likes. Why y'all gotta do me like this? Golly, that's diabolical, man. I'm cooking this healthy dosage of sweet science. Stop with the ghost watching and double tap that screen. And by the way, my peoples, check out the link right there in the comments. You'll see the link for Box Center 2.0. Subscribe to Box Center 2.0, official exclusive content that only drops on that channel. Plus, goofiest of the oofiest, the show, Mondays at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, only drops on Box Center 2.0. Don't miss out, my peoples. Ishmael, man, that was a revenge of the nerds. I seen women squabble up better than that. Despicable performance. Paji San, karate ain't no martial arts. Karate more like a dance show. Oh man, that's horrible. But them karate people, they not making it out there in them combat sports. Wes Dussett, Jay, gotta go ice those knees. Nah, what you mean ice those knees, bro? Don't you know I'm running 4 miles a day, baby? Knees is good. Eye for eye. Tate is going to be Jake Paul's next opponent. You see, he's a good opponent for Jake Paul because at 40 years old, Jake Paul's going to have the advantage, you know, in age, experience in boxing. He's going to have all of the advantage he needs to beat him. Eye for eye, word for word. I heard Keyshawn want to move up to 147. He wants to fight the young boy. Honestly, that's not something I've heard, and I don't think that's going to happen. I don't see him skipping 140 altogether. I expect him to not just fight in that division, but look to accomplish. I don't think we'll see Keyshawn Davis at 147 until he becomes a world champion at 140. My perspective. Keyshawn said it. Wes Dussett, Keyshawn said it. Honestly, I have to see it happen. I expect him to fight at 140 until further notice. If they announce that he has an opponent that he's going to fight at 147, even if it's like a tune-up type of fight, then I'm like, okay, that's it. That's where he's going. Wes Dussett, I think he's staying away from Shakur. He don't have to be in a different division to stay away from Shakur. They've already made that clear that they're not fighting each other. So, you know, no matter the pressure that they're going to feel from fans saying, fight each other, fight each other, it doesn't matter whether they're in the same division or not. They're not going to fight each other. Now, I do understand about the titles because obviously if we're in the same division, there's less titles to go around if we don't fight each other. Eye for eye, Abdullah Mason is nicer than Keyshawn thinks. Honestly, I don't think that's the case. When you see somebody like Abdullah Mason, you have to believe that all the fighters, especially the elite level ones, they know what he brings. Like, if we watch Abdullah Mason and we understand what he is, the fighters also understand it. I would say more that Keyshawn Davis feel comfortable where he could beat him. Feels confident with that. Because remember, there's a difference, a big difference in experience between Abdullah Mason and Keyshawn Davis. If they would have fought each other, I had Keyshawn Davis winning that fight. Abdullah, I didn't think Abdullah was ready at that time for that type of opponent. So you have to understand, Abdullah Mason is a special fighter, but that talent, you have to develop it too. And he's being developed. So I think Keyshawn Davis is a bit further along in his developing process. He's already a world champion than Abdullah Mason, who just became a champion. Now, Abdullah Mason, with this win over Sam Noakes, now he reached another level. Now Abdullah Mason becomes more of a threat, or even more dangerous fighter. Let's see how this whole thing is going to play out. But it's like I told you, that out of that group of fighters who are gonna be gunning for that face of boxing spot, you see two of them right there, and they're gonna fight each other. That's a beautiful thing, my peoples. This fight is a lot bigger than some people think, than some people even understand. That's why I compared it to Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvelous Marvin Hagler. And I want to tell you guys something funny that I was gonna say earlier. Think about this. I told you guys that this fight reminded me of Sugar Ray Leonard versus Marvin Hagler. And I posted that in my story. Coincidentally enough, Shakur saw the story. A few days ago, I saw a video or a post where Shakur says he was watching Marvelous Marvin Hagler. I'm like, damn, how come nobody told me this guy was like that? So, did he watch Marvelous Marvin Hagler because I said this fight reminded me of Sugar Ray versus Marvelous Marvin Hagler? Or is it just a coincidence? I don't know. But I know that I made that comparison, and after I made the comparison, he checked out, I guess, fight footage on Marvin Hagler. This is, to me, this is that big of a fight. You have two fighters who are dead in their prime, both very well accomplished. Come on now. These two fighters right here, yo, when they get together, we're going to get a heck of a show. Everybody that's talking about, oh, Shakur's probably going to run, or it might not be interesting, forget about all that. You already saw Shakur versus Tate. You already, and I try to explain this to people, Shakur Stevenson got a chip on his shoulder. Why? Because he's still trying to prove to everybody that he's the best. He still has the most naysayers. He still seems to have the most haters. And he just keep wanting to shut everybody up. So he don't want to just beat Teofimo Lopez. He want to beat him, you know, in beautiful fashion. And the same thing with Teofimo Lopez. He want to be impressive. These guys are trying to gun for that top spot. Let's see how it plays out. Wes Dussett, Jay Smith is relevant in boxing. We on it, my brother. We on it. Rough record. Ryan Garcia trying to fight Jake Paul. Well, you gotta remember, Ryan Garcia got Mario Barrios. He got Mario Barrios to deal with. So, can he beat Mario Barrios? Will he beat Mario Barrios? We'll see. Joshua Richards, Shakur beats Teo. High difference. Let's see, man. Let's see it. Ifromora. Good morning, brother. Bam. Let's see, man, because I'm telling you, this is going to be a very competitive fight. It's going to be one of those fights where we might see the fighters go back and forth. As far as this guy won this round, this guy won that round, this guy. And it could even turn into the type of fight that will boil down to who wins the championship round. It could go to that. Like, yo, they both need these rounds to win the fight. Or it could turn into a one-sided affair. A one-sided affair where Teofimo get outboxed and get made to look easy, or Shakur Stevenson get hurt and is not able to recover. Peradabo. Does any heavyweight outside of Usyk beat Moses Itauma? Termoana could be a threat. Termoana can fight. Ifromora, I believe Shakur can outbox Teo. So what type of fight are we going to get, though? Are we going to get a fight where Shakur's outboxing him and Teofimo is applying that pressure and landing his own shots? Because that's the thing. You can outbox somebody and it could be competitive. And it could really go back and forth. That's why, again, I keep pointing at Marvelous Marvin Hagler and Sugar Ray Leonard. In that fight, they really went at it. They really went back and forth because they were both of an elite level. And that's what we're getting right here. We're getting two guys that are at the highest level, have won in the biggest stage, and now they get to face each other. Joshua Richards, I think if T.O. pressures Shakur, he may force him to throw his big punches, then T.O. can counter them. That's the one thing you can expect. Is look, forget about thinking. You can expect 100% for Teofimo to try to apply pressure. Because going into this fight, he knows he's not going to outbox Shakur Stevenson. But if you can apply pressure and turn it into a fight and hurt him, then everything can change in your favor. If you can turn it into a fight and land big punches to the body throughout, you could, even though you're losing the fight on the cards, you could make something happen late if you got him hurt to the body. Wes said that fight was a slugfest. But it was a slugfest. Why? Because Marvelous Marvin Hagler kept applying that pressure. So Sugar Ray Leonard had to retaliate. So Hagler wasn't the type of guy that you're going to dance circles around him and outbox him. You're going to have to fight. Shakur Stevenson can outbox you, but when Teofimo applies that pressure, he already shown us that he can do it from the inside. So I believe this is going to turn into that type of fight where they're going to go back and forth. Eye for eye. Young Buck, I hope you choose to be Sugar. Stay like Sugar Shakur. We're going to see. Shakur was actually watching, I believe, that same fight. Ramirez, the Tio that boxed Loma is not losing more rounds than Shakur. Facts. Let's see how they fight each other. What type of fight we're going to get. Who's going to be applying pressure? Who's going to be counterpunching effectively? Both of them are real good counterpunchers. Whose jab is going to be getting off? Who's going to be able to offset what the other guy does? Who's going to do that effectively? Joshua Richardson. Hagler has a chin of granite. Boy, was he tough, man. Listen. Marvelous Marvin Hagler was one of those fighters that even when he lost to Sugar Ray Leonard, look at that fight. What did people think about that fight? If you look back, a lot of people say he won that fight. A lot of people say that he won that fight versus Sugar Ray Leonard. That's how good of a fight and how close it was. So it's not like Marvin Hagler got cooked. Now take this into consideration and let it sizzle in your spirit. A lot of people don't even know this. Marvelous Marvin Hagler fought Sugar Ray Leonard in his very last professional fight. Look at the box rack right here. Look. Ray Leonard. Ray Leonard was his very last professional fight. It was no spring chicken. We're talking about a guy that had already been in the ring 60-something times when he fought Ray Leonard. Wes Dussett. We've also never seen Shakur hit enough to know his chin. Nah, but he's been rocked. He's been hit with some good shots. Ate him. Easy work. Sensei, Bud has gave Shakur the touch. This is his time to shine. Ah, you see? That's it. It's like I told you guys earlier. There's a group of fighters that's going to be fighting for position to become the face of boxing. And that's two of them right there. It's a very small group who can become the face of the sport. And two of them are facing each other. Northside, any updates on the undercard? I'm not sure. I think I've seen something on it. I'm going to have I could start Googling that shit, but I'm going to have an update for you tomorrow. I'm going to make it a part of the show to talk about the fights and whatever's on the card, whatever's out so far. Northside, any updates? Bisco, he felt he got robbed. Who felt they got robbed? You mean Teofimo when he lost, or which fight? Afromora, no one's giving Shakur problems, to my knowledge. Teo had issue with Sandor Martin and Jermaine Ortiz, both good boxers. You're right, there's nobody. You know, it's boxing, so there's been times Shakur ate a good shot. That's going to happen. That's part of the sport. But nobody's ever given him problems. No one ever gave him a fight that you're like, oh my God, he might lose. Or that never happened in his whole career. Eye for eye. He's going to frustrate Teo with lateral movement, with his new inside technique game Crawford taught him. Come on now. That's the one thing, man, with Shakur Stevenson training for Terrence Crawford for so much time, for all these years. It's a big difference, man, what he's able to do. Bisco Hagler felt he was robbed. Okay, Hagler. He did, man, and a lot of people felt like he won that fight. But ultimately, when you have such a good fight, such a slugfest where they both landed on each other, it's hard to call it. A bunch of swing rounds. Fight could have gone either way. That's just the reality. That's the type of fight that can go either way. And it could have been a draw, too. That could have easily been a draw. My peoples. Don't forget that Tank Davis is in the mix. Don't get it twisted, ladies and gentlemen. Tank Davis, we don't know who's going to be his next opponent, right? We don't know yet. I think it's safe to assume that Tank is going to be at the 140 division when we see him again. Let's see who Tank is going to fight, man. I'm interested. Super interested. Tank is one of those guys that he can be in that race to see who's going to be the next face of boxing. Ramirez. We know Teo can never be the face of boxing. There's too much hate on him. If it wasn't hatred, he would have been one of the face of boxing. Now, you're wrong about that, Ramirez. Hate doesn't stop people from becoming the face of boxing. It actually helps them. Hate does not stop somebody from becoming the face of boxing. It helps them. Here are the people who are in line. All the people that I'm telling you can become the face of boxing. The ones that will be fighting for that spot. Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney, David Benavidez. Did I mention Jerome Bruce Ennis? Abdullah Mason. Those are the guys right there. And Abdullah Mason, a little bit far off. He could be for that next generation. No, I'm removing Abdullah Mason from there. I'm removing him. Earlier we mentioned him, but I'm removing him. He's going to be after them. He's going to be after that group. So Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez, Jerome Bruce Ennis, David Benavidez, Tank Davis. Those are the guys right there that are going to be fighting for that spot. Now, Sensei, you said something interesting. You said Teo versus Shakur winner will be the face of boxing for sure. I said it before. Out of that group of fighters that's going to be fighting to be the next face of boxing, Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur, the winner of that fight will already start to separate themselves from the group. Whoever wins this fight is going to be the front runner to claim that title. They're not going to claim it just yet. Because remember, if David Benavidez gets a fight with Beterbiev, or if he get a fight with Bivol, that's going to be a big, big win too. Or if Devin Haney gets a fight with Tank Davis, between them two, that's a huge fight. So the first ones to strike is going to be Shakur and Teofimo Lopez. Who's going to win that fight? And then you're going to have Devin Haney, who he's going to fight next. Because I'm going to tell you like this. Nature Boy, Haney is the true champ. I want you to think about this with Haney, though. Haney beat Brian Norman Jr. That's a big win. Moved up in weight, challenged and beat Brian Norman Jr. Big win. But Shakur Stevenson moving up to challenge and beat Teofimo Lopez will be a bigger win than Devin Haney's. And if Teofimo beats Shakur, that's a bigger win than Devin Haney's over Brian Norman Jr. Because either guy winning is going to represent a win over a more accomplished fighter than the one Devin Haney got. Northside, Shakur is a genius. The ring IQ is off the charts, man. Off the charts. Eye for eye. He's saying Hagler felt like he won that fight with Sugar Ray, but Sugar Ray had a plan. The unloaded combination the last 10 minutes of the last 10 seconds, of every round. Hagler felt like he got robbed, and a lot of fans felt like he got robbed, to be honest. Eye for eye, you can hear Sugar Ray corner yell, time. And when he heard that, he unleashed combinations on Marvelous, letting the hands fly. And it worked. They got the W. He stole a lot of rounds at the end. Northside, Lineal Belt, WBO, and Ring Magazine, all on the line. Come on now. West Dustin, Sugar Ray was the best at closing out rounds. Look, this fight, people are underestimating it, and they're not appreciating the historical significance behind it. That's why I compared it to all-time greats. Sugar Ray, Marvelous Mallory Hagler. This fight is huge. Look at all the titles that are on the line. Look at the two fighters. These are two future Hall of Famers. Whether you like them or not, both of these guys are going to go into the Hall of Fame first ballot. Both of them. These are two future Hall of Famers facing each other. Neither one of them has turned 30 years old yet. Both in their 20s. It's just perfect. Perfect. Nature Boy, Teal by KO. Whoa. You got an early knockout? Or is he going to break Shakur Stevenson down slowly and get him late? Eye for eye. Teal brought that hate on himself. He said it made bold racist tactics. Yeah, that's no good. That's no good. I think he learned from it because he's been stayed away from it. But you don't troll that way because it's going to backfire. Everybody don't believe you trolling. You convince people that you're a racist. Northside. That Devin Loma win won't mean anything because Shakur should have beat the man who beat the man, genius. Joshua Richards. If Tio wins by KO, that will break the internet. But Shakur will really have to be broken. I mean, it will break the internet. If Shakur Stevenson gets stopped, it will break the internet in such a crazy way because he has so much haters that would be celebrating. And it's crazy because look at this. We have two world champions. Two very accomplished fighters. Somebody's going to lose, right? Watch how the very following day, they're going to be saying, whoever lost, he got exposed, he a hype job, he not that good, They knew that he wasn't that really that good. But damn, somebody's supposed to fight. Great fighters lose. So whoever loses was not exposed. They lost to the better fighter. Except that. Eye for eye. Wait, what about Gary and Gary's son? Gary Antoine Russell. Gary Antoine Russell is a champion in the 140 division. Which I thought that's what was going to happen. I thought Teofimo Lopez was going to fight Gary Antoine Russell. At some point when he came out wearing a PBC hat. That's a tough champion in the 140 division. Everybody who knows Gary Antoine Russell know how he get down. Dangerous fighter. Power, skill, speed. Eric Gomes. If Shakur gets the WBO strap from Teo, he can easily move to 147 and be next in line for Devin's WBO belt. Eye for eye. Wait, what about Gary Russell Jr.? I'm telling you, man, well, I think Gary Antoine Russell being the world champion at 140 is going to be more in the picture, but Gary Russell, he trying to fight. I think he should just retire, man. He just has so much inactivity. Just retire, man. Joshua Richards. Wait, Eric Gomes. He will have the lineal belt and Ring Magazine champ, too. So, no low ball offers this time. Joshua Richards. Devin versus Shakur would be good, but Devin cannot perform like he did against Ryan, or he's toast. Look. Let's keep it real, man. Devin has done everything to stay away from Shakur Stevenson. He has not wanted that fight. But for the first time, it seemed like he expressed interest. He said, you know, that Shakur is one of the guys that he want to fight. Let's see. I have to see it to believe it, because I believe that they just don't want that fight. But if it does happen, Shakur versus Devin is going to be the biggest fight in boxing. You see how we got that Terrence Crawford versus Canelo, and the whole world was talking about it? Shakur versus Devin is going to be the same thing. The whole world's going to be talking about it. Casual boxing fans are going to be talking about it. It's going to be that type of fight. Joshua Richards. Devin versus Shakur would be good. My peoples. Come on, man. My peoples. We about to go 2 hours. 2 hours going strong for y'all. I couldn't reach 40 likes, man. Help Jay Smith out, y'all. Double tap that screen. Let's stop with the ghost watching. Northside. Devin gonna run to 154 like he ran to 140. You see, that's the one thing, my guy. I personally don't know if Devin is ever going to fight Shakur. I'd love to see that fight. But I don't know if they're always going to steer clear of him. Because when Shakur was the mandatory, all they had to do was move up to 140. And that's it. There ain't shit Shakur could do. So I think he moves up to, you know, he just moved up to 140. I think by the time he gets to 147, we might see Devin already moved up again. So I don't know if we'll ever get that fight. Hopefully we do. Ben. Teo is beating Shakur. That power is going to be a big part of the win. If you're banking on power, I got a feeling. I'm going to just ask you, what round did you have Canelo knocking Crawford out in? Be honest, Ben. Don't be one of the people that told me, no, I had it going the distance. Or I had Crawford winning. The people that always bring up the power, what round you thought Canelo was going to knock Crawford out in? Eye for eye. I see Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker versus Oscar De La Hoya with the right decision this time. The right man gets the W? Look, man, the way this fight could play out, you know, there's many different ways that it can go. But I think that because of the skill set, the youth, the talent, I think this fight is going to be competitive. I really do. Ben, I have Crawford. This is my new page. I'm Ben Sanders. Salute, Ben. Bam. Okay. So you have Crawford, then you know that the guy with the power didn't win. That was the narrative, right? The narrative was that Crawford was too small or that Canelo was too strong. Canelo was gonna knock him out. So the power is not gonna be the deciding factor of a fight unless you're gonna get an explosive knockout. Okay, he ended him. But usually power is not what's gonna dictate who wins a fight. It's gonna be dictated by the skill set. Nature Boy, I thought Canelo would have got him by round 5, but he couldn't get in. And that's fair. And Nature Boy, I appreciate your honesty. Because you're just saying what you thought it was gonna be. There's people who thought Canelo was gonna knock him out, and after the fight, they're like, no, I knew Crawford was gonna do it. Like, they don't want to be honest and say what they really thought. Northside, how do you feel about Shakur versus Ben? Shakur versus Conor Ben? I mean, I don't think it's a fight that we're gonna get just because the different weight classes, and there's a lot of things that they have to negotiate. Conor Ben already talking about, I need 10 million if they want a rehydration clause and all of that stuff. So I think it's an uphill battle to see that fight happen anytime soon. But it can happen. But for now, I wouldn't make a prediction, my brother, because I don't want to make a prediction of something that might never even happen. If things get going between them and it looks like we might get a fight, then that's different. My peoples, I want to give a shout out to everybody tuning in to this episode of Boxing for Breakfast. Check it, man. Make sure you subscribe to Box Center 2.0. Exclusive videos that only drop on that channel. You see it right there pinned on the comments. Ben, I remember Crawford was on the line with us, and I said I will never go against Crawford, but please sleep on Tio's skills and power. Hold on. I will never go against Crawford. But people sleep on Tio's skill and power. That's why I say Tio. All right, good job. Good job, Ryan. I'm going to say this, man. Teofimo Lopez, I respect everything that he's able to do inside the ring. Very skilled fighter. We know the type of power that he carries into the ring. My only knock on him is that he's kind of one-dimensional. Now, he did show versatility in that last fight with Jose Ramirez. No. What's the name of the guy that he beat? That Teofimo Lopez beat in Times Square? Fuck, I can't remember the name of the guy he beat in Times Square. But he showed versatility in that fight because we saw the movement. We saw the footwork. We saw him, counterpunching it and using that footwork more than we're used to. But normally, we get a one-sided Tio. Not, it was Devin Haney who fought Jose Ramos. Was it? Jose Ramirez. Devin Haney fought Jose Ramirez. I can't remember who Shakur fought that night and beat with a lot of movement, a lot of all of this and that. But I think that Shakur Teofimo could be one-dimensional, to where he's just trying to go forward and just apply pressure. And you're going to have a problem with a boxer like Shakur if you're going to fight like that. Eye for eye. If Devin can fight Shakur the way he did Regis, he'll get the win. He can't fight Shakur that way. No way. You got to remember, Regis is a shorter guy with short arms. So Devin had the height and reach advantages that he enjoyed and used successfully versus Regis, picking them apart. You're not going to have those versus Shakur. Y'all about the same size. Barboza, there you have it. It was Barboza. I would say Teofimo, people didn't like the way he fought because he used the footwork a lot more. But I say in that fight, he showed his versatility. He had Arnold Barboza, who wanted to apply pressure, wants to go forward and throw a lot of punches, and he used the footwork to offset that. So there is a certain level of versatility in Teofimo's game. But during some of his fights, he's been very one-sided, and he struggled with that. So when you have someone like Shakur Stevenson in front of you, you're going to have to get it together. You're going to make adjustments. You're going to have to do different things throughout the fight. And, of course, my people, we talked about Tank Davis. What is really going to happen? How is this thing really going to play out with Tank? Is he going to fight an exhibition again? Or not again, because he didn't get to fight. He didn't get to do the exhibition with Jake Paul. But are we going to see him doing an exhibition? Are we going to see him fighting one of the top dogs in the 140 division? What's going to happen next with Tank Davis, my peoples? Box fans, salute. Bam. My G. You already know what it is, man. I've been at it for over 2 hours. Over 2 hours, and I couldn't get to 40 likes, man. God damn. But I appreciate everybody tuning in, even the ghost watchers. Look, man, I want to see Tank get in the ring. If he fights Pitbull Cruz, I don't want... That's not the fight I want to see next. Tank Davis versus Pitbull Cruz. But if he fights him, I'm going to watch. We're going to watch. We just want to see Tank Davis fight. That's it. We want to see him fight. And, of course, I showed you guys the numbers don't lie. Based on that image. Matter of fact, just y'all tell me. What does this image tell you? When you see this image, what does it tell you, my peoples? Come on now. Terrence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez did 41 million views on Netflix. Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua did 33 million views. Which, by the way, I heard that the last count on Crawford versus Canelo was like 47 million views. So, over 10 million views more than Jake versus AJ. So that's the answer right there. A lot of people have hit me up like, yo, Jay, what you think is going to happen as far as the views? If Crawford versus Canelo got 41 million views, that's what we thought at the time. Do you think AJ versus Jake Paul is going to get to 50 million? And I say, you know what? I think it's going to be more or less close. It could be, 10 million more, 10 million less. But I think it could be close. There you have it. There you have it, my peoples. So Terrence Crawford, the guy who doesn't sell, the guy who's not marketable, doesn't put butts in seats, he ended up giving Canelo the fight with the most viewership in his entire career. Let that sizzle in your spirit, my people. That's the reason why Terrence Buck Crawford is the face of boxing. Right there. You can make an argument against it if you want to. You could say, no, Terrence Crawford is not the face of boxing, but numbers don't lie. Nature Boy, was Canelo too slow, or did Bub make him seem that way? Nah, Canelo wasn't slow. It's just Crawford was faster and better and outclassing him. When you're being outclassed, lots of things happen. You make mistakes that you normally don't. And you even get made to look goofy. Because look at Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua looking like a goofball. Rolling all over the floor like a goofy. That's why, because he was being outclassed. When you're being outclassed, my peoples, that's the type of face that you end up with. Like a goofball. Nature Boy, Tank needs to clean his life up first. I mean, I think that's what Tank is working on right now. You see him laying low, staying out of trouble. I seen him, recently in his city, giving out turkey, giving out clothes to the people. and just giving to his community. So it looks like that's what he's doing right now. And hopefully we get him back in the ring soon, whenever he's ready. Joshua Richards. Crawford was faster and took advantage of Canelo's flat feet. I try to tell everybody it was going to be a difference. And there's something that I saw coming, and I try to tell people, they just won't listen. I knew that Terence Crawford's reach advantage was going to be a big factor in this fight. The reach and the footwork, the combination of those two things, something that Canelo wasn't going to be able to overcome. I saw it happening. Box fans, Bud is a hell of a fighter. He's the guy. He's the guy, the greatest fighter of this era. Nature Boy, Bivol is the man to beat right now in boxing. I don't know how you came up with that. You got to understand, Bivol is a guy who's coming off of surgery, and there's a lot of guys who's been accomplishing while he's been out of boxing. So I have a hard time saying that he's the guy to beat. He's one of the top dogs, that's for sure. But you got Naoya Inoue. Naoya Inoue is more accomplished than Dimitri Bivol, and is going to be higher than him on the pound-for-pound list. Any pound-for-pound list that you look at, Naoya Inoue is going to be above Dimitri Bivol. Nature Boy, Bivol is the man to beat. We're going to see, man. We're going to see how that plays out, because there's some fighters out there. Think about Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez. Whoever wins that fight, their spot is gonna change in the pound-for-pound list. Paradabo, what route should AJ take next? Go after Fabio Wardley for the belt, or go after the Fury fight? Look, I'm gonna be honest. If I was AJ, I'd go for the Fury fight. And here's why. The Fury fight is going to make a lot more money than the one with Fabio Wardley. That's the first thing. And the second, Fabio Wardley is a dangerous, dangerous fighter in his prime. Very strong, very good boxer. I don't think that's a good matchup for AJ. He might actually get pummeled out there. So I don't know if that's the fight he want to take. Go with Fury, big money fight, and then if you beat Fury, go for Wardley after getting that bag. Five Line Whoop. Heard this dude got 15 million per round in that fight with AJ. Crazy work. The one that had me laughing the most was Drake, because he bet 200,000 on Jake Paul. And then he posted, yo, Jake Paul, you pretty trash, man. Like, why would you tell him that he's pretty trash? You should have been known that. Joshua Richards, go for Fury. Fabio will do a lot of damage to Joshua. Fabio Wardley, man, he's scary. Scary. Nature Boy, AJ versus Fury will be a big seller. That's what I'm saying. Even though it's not as big as it was a few years ago when they was both undefeated and you had all the fans calling for that fight, it's a little bit past its peak, but we still want that fight, and we're going to tune in. It's still a big fight. Scott Fernie, I almost fought Bud twice in 06. Wish I got that one. In 06, let me see. As a professional, right? That's as a professional? Yeah, he was a professional at that time. As a pro, you almost got that fight? Paradabo, what about Wardley versus Itauma? That's an explosive fight, bro. That's an explosive fight, bro. I want to see it. When the time is right, they're gonna come together. Trust me. That's a fight that is gonna happen. Eye for eye. Man, bro, good show. Thank you. Who we cooking next? Hit that like button. Ooh, ring viewer champions. My peoples, come on, man. Hit that like button for sure. Joshua Richards. I think Itama cannot win Fabio, in my opinion. Look, I'm going to be honest. I think Itama needs a little bit more development. Don't get it twisted. I know what he brings to the table. I know how good he is. But, you know, he's so young that I think if you put him with Fabio Wardley, he could make a few mistakes that could not only, you know, end up in a loss, but a nasty one that he doesn't recover from it and doesn't accomplish what he's supposed to. So I say, hold on. You don't need to have him face, you know, a guy like Fabio Wardley just yet. I'd give him at least another year to make that fight. In 2026, 3 fights. And then in 2027, okay, go after Fabio Wardley. But right now, I think they still got to develop Itama a little bit more. I'm telling you, he's young. And when you're young like that, there's little mistakes that you make that you're going to get away with that a guy like Wardley will pulverize your whole shit. Gifted guys. How has the UK produced so many heavyweights in the last decade? I think the UK is one of the countries that has a great amateur boxing program, because that's what you need to produce a great heavyweight. You know, great amateur boxing program. Because you can produce a heavyweight champion who doesn't have that pedigree, that amateur pedigree, and those are usually the heavyweight champions that are like a one and done. Like win a title and then lose it and that's it. But for you to produce those champions that reign for years, you know, you need to have a good, solid amateur foundation. And the UK has an amazing amateur program, and they're producing. They're producing. That's the reality. Scott Fernie, National Golden Gloves in Omaha, and ringside tour over a seat. Damn, you guys was right there. Right there. But could have fought each other, it just didn't happen. Listen, bro, that would have been your main story at every gathering. Yeah, you know, when I fought Crawford in the amateurs and shit. He was alright back then, too. Yeah, you imagine if you would have got the W on Bud in the amateurs, man, you would have been able to make a career out of that shit right now. Like, yeah, you know, I beat his ass in the amateurs. Like, yo, if I'm somebody who fought Crawford in the amateurs and had any type of success, I'm becoming a content creator right now. I'm going to make a name for myself off of beating Bud in the amateurs X amount of years ago. But, listen, man, we have to accept that when you look at the numbers talk. Numbers talk. We can have an opinion, but the numbers speak for themselves. 41 million views. Terrence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez, 41 million views. And I'm hearing that the last count is 47 million views. Jake Paul versus AJ. How many? 33 million views. Think about it. Over 10 million views more for Crawford and Canelo when compared to AJ versus Jake Paul. Eye for eye. Tyson Fury will dismantle AJ. How come y'all can't see it? I can't see it because Francis Ngannou dismantled Tyson Fury. That's why I can't see it. And what did AJ do to him? Dismantled him. So there's a lot of dismantling going on around here. That's all I'm saying. But don't forget what I told you guys earlier. With Terrence Crawford now officially retired, the face of boxing title is up for grabs. And it's a small group of people that can grab that title. They're going to be all together right there in the conversation. But eventually, somebody's going to get the win that's going to push them above everybody else. So you have Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney, Jerron Bruce Ennis, David Benavidez. Those 5 right there are the front runners to become the next face of boxing. Jay Smith is telling you. You got 2 of them that are going to meet in the ring on January 31st. Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez. So whoever wins this fight is going to be the front runner for that spot. Now, that's going to put the pressure on Devin Haney to get a big win. On Tank Davis to come out of nowhere and get a big win. David Benavidez too. All the other fighters have to get big wins in order to surpass the winner of this fight. Whoever wins this fight, remember I told y'all, they gonna be the front runner. Now everybody else need a big win too. You see that Shakur is ranked like at number 6 for in the pound for pound list. If he wins, he's gonna go to number 5, number 4, something like that. Teofimo Lopez, I think he may not even be on the pound for pound list. If he beats Shakur, top 5. So this is a big, big fight. That's why I keep comparing it. Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvelous Marvin Hagler. 2 of the best in the game about to fight each other. Big, big fight, my people. Be the best. Francis has a freight train in his fist. Tyson will pick him apart. But you never know. Let's see, man. Let's see AJ and Tyson Fury. That's a big fight. Even though they both already took a couple L's, but that's still a big fight. And we're going to be tuning in to watch it. Ramirez, triangle theory don't work in boxing, Jay Smith. I never said it does. I never said triangle theory works. All I'm saying is Tyson Fury, they look very good versus Francis Ngannou. And AJ pulverized him. I'm not saying AJ's going to beat him because of that. I'm just saying that's something to look at. Scott Fernie. I kept my seat too. Ooh, that's fire. That's fire, bro. Any memorabilia that you can have from when you fought, that's awesome. The last thing that I had, bro, I had 2 items. I had my blue shirt from the Golden Gloves, and I had my medal because I was the runner-up. And I lost both of them, man. So I don't have anything from my fighting day. Well, from my pro debut, though, I got the shoes, the short that I wore. I got that shit. I even got the mouthpiece. Parado, Matchroom, and Eddie has a new superstar heavyweight in the making. His name is Leo Atang. He's being called the new AJ. He's unbeaten and huge puncher. Down the line, Eddie said, Atang versus Itauma. Ooh. If they put in his name right alongside Itauma, that tells me that he got to be a special talent. Because without a doubt, Itauma is one of those fighters that you expect him to become a world champion. You expect him to have a long reign, unified titles, maybe even become undisputed. That's the type of talent you see with Moses Itauma. If they keep developing him right and they match him up right, this guy's going to be big, man. The same thing with Turamoana. That guy's not a game. Eye for eye, the UK has been producing champions since the great Lennox Lewis. The problem is Emmanuel Stewart's not around training them. The UK's been. They've been doing it. There's certain countries that they have a rich tradition. The UK, Cuba, Mexico, obviously the USA, Puerto Rico, Russia has produced some great fighters, throughout. So there's certain countries that they lead in the pack when it comes to that. There's other countries that they have had world champions, but not leading like that. Look at Dominican Republic. Recently, we had 3 champions at the same time. Eric Meanie Pac-Man. This guy at 140. Alberto Puello. And Carlos Adames. We had 3 reigning champions simultaneously, but 2 of them lost. So right now, the only champion from the Dominican Republic is Carlos Adames. So we're generating world champions, but they're not staying long, or they're not being consistent. We're not keeping them reigning for a long time. The only guy that we have reigning that's been reigning for a while, defending everything, is Carlos Adames. For you to be a superpower in boxing, you need to have multiple champions, and they all need to be reigning. They all need to be doing it. And we haven't been able to do that. But let me just point out, my peoples, before moving on to this next subject. Right now, the Dominican amateur program is insane. Insane, my peoples. And to give you an example, look, in a map where this is the United States, the Dominican Republic would look like this. Like this. If this is the US, this is DR. A little pebble. In the 2024 Olympics, the US got 1 medal, 1 Olympic medal in boxing. Dominican Republic got 2. Dominican Republic got more medals in the Olympics than the United States. That's crazy. And people don't understand that. This little third world country with little bit of resources did better in the Olympics than this huge superpower. So what I'm trying to tell you is, you're going to be seeing some Dominican champions real soon. Because some of those guys that accomplished a couple years ago, they already turned pro. The 2 Dominican Olympic medalists, they both already turned pro. One of them is 1-0, and the other one I think is 3-0. So Christian Pinales, our Olympic bronze medalist, and Alcantara and Junior Alcantara, our Olympic silver medalist, they're both professionals, and I can promise you they will both become world champions. Fernando Peter, he didn't go to the Olympics. He's going to be a world champion. And there's a few others. So Dominican Republic, my peoples, is going to make a crazy run within the next few years, because these guys are early. 1 and 2 wins and 3 and stuff like that. But within a few years, Dominican boxing is going to be crazy on the world stage, my peoples. Remember, I told you that. Ramirez, oh yeah, for a fact. They're going to be way more Dominican skillful fighters for a fact. My God, we have right now the lead trainer in the amateur boxing team, in the national amateur boxing team, is Cuban. Came from Cuba. And he's already been out here for a few years, I think. And that's why you're starting to see, look at Rohan Polanco. He's going to be a world champion. That's where you're starting to see these Dominican fighters that are slick fighters now and boxer punchers. If you look back at the history of Dominican boxing, we used to have just a lot of brawlers. We had a lot of Sean Porters. Everybody wanted to be like a Sean Porter. But if you look at boxing now in the Dominican Republic, you're seeing a lot of technicians. You're seeing a lot of guys with that master footwork. You're seeing sweet science to the fullest. The good old hit and not get hit. So Dominican boxing, my people, is going to be in the map real heavy, real soon. My peoples. First of all, I want to say Happy Wednesday to everybody. Merry Christmas to everybody. Enjoy your food. Enjoy your family. I want to give a shout out to everybody who tuned in this morning. To me, y'all, it's really a humbling experience that I go live and you guys decide to spend some of your morning with me talking boxing, trash talking, making predictions, listening in, tuning in. Some people hit the like, some people don't. Look, today, god damn, yo, way over 2 hours and I couldn't get to 50 likes. But I still love each and every one of you, whether you hitting the like button or not. Because you guys are tuning in. You guys are making the interesting conversations. And because of you guys, Boxing for Breakfast is what it is. So every single day when I end the show, I like to give props to you guys. Because if you guys showed up over here and you didn't know shit about boxing, what kind of conversations we're going to have? We're going to have some whack conversations because it ain't nothing good to talk about when you don't know what you're talking about. That's why I be blocking people who don't know shit about boxing. Because I don't need that. We need to have good conversations. That's what Boxing for Breakfast is about. Salute to Underrated Will, Omar Foster, Sai, Claymore Rain was in the building, Nisk, Omar Foster. Who else was in the building, man? A lot of people tuned in today. Aroma Sound, my brother, appreciate you tuning in. Sensei was in the building. Eye for Eye, Boxing on Paper. Ishmael was in the building. West Dust and my guy. Ryan was in the building. Who else was in the building? Eric Gomes, salute my G. Ben was in the house. Nature Boy, Northside. Everybody who tuned in, my peoples, y'all already know what it is, man. I really do this for the love of the sweet science. And I know you guys love boxing. Why else would you be tuning in at 8 in the morning, 7 in the morning to talk and listen to boxing? Because you love the sweet science. You're addicted to boxing. You need your fix. And that's exactly what I'm trying to give you, my peoples. I need my fix too. And that's what I'm here for. So salute to everybody who tuned in this morning. One love, man. This show is for you guys. And you know it, man. Enjoy your Christmas. Enjoy your food. Enjoy your gifts. Enjoy your family, my peoples. And let me give you the J. Stradamus words of the day. Haven't been giving you the J. Stradamus words of the day. But in Christmas, I got to give it to you. And this is an important one, my peoples. Jay Smith about to give you some free game. You know that saying, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer? You know that saying, right? I want you guys to think about this. This is very important. One of the most important things you're going to hear from Jay Stradamus. Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. What I need you to understand about that line is that you have a friend out there. To that friend, you are the enemy that they're keeping closer. And you don't even know it. Don't forget I told you that. Every time we say that line, we put ourselves on one side of it. Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. It makes you think, oh shit, I'll keep my enemies close. But you're not looking at the other side of that. You're also the friend that somebody's keeping closer because in their mind, you're the enemy. So you're sitting over there thinking shit is sweet. Sitting over there thinking shit is cool until they backstab your ass, until they backdoor you, until they do you dirty. So never forget, my peoples, just because you see somebody as your friend, that doesn't mean they see you as their friend. They could just be keeping you around because you're the enemy that they keeping closer. Remember, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. Some people keep you close because they see you as the enemy, not because they really think you their friend or that they your friend. Everybody that you think is your friend is not your friend. I promise you that. So do your very best to stop ignoring the red flags, my peoples. Stop ignoring the red flags. When you let somebody do you dirty and you brush it under the table, they're going to do you dirty again. Don't get it twisted. When you see, and that's the biggest mistake that we make, especially us men. We see red flags in people and we don't remove them. We don't get away from them. We still play it cool. Not a big deal until they shit on you. So always remember, my peoples, this is free game from your boy Jay Smith. Everybody that act like your friend ain't your friend. It's up to you to identify who's really your friend, who's really rocking with you, and who's just keeping you close because you the enemy to them. You think that's your friend, and they looking at you like, I gotta keep my enemy closer. There you have it, my peoples. That's the word of the day from Jay Stradamus. Stay safe. Enjoy your holidays. And my peoples, don't get too messed up. Don't get too drunk. Don't get too high. Don't be throwing up. Don't be looking like a goofball. Enjoy the shit. Enjoy the shit. Have a little bit of a drink. Get yourself nice. You smoke a blunt, get nice. But don't be pissy drunk. Don't be rolling around like a goofball because you're not going to enjoy the holidays, my people. I'm going to see y'all tomorrow. I know tomorrow's Christmas. Guess what? The Christmas edition episode of Boxing for Breakfast is going down tomorrow. And let me just put y'all on, man. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about this year in boxing. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about the whole year, everything that we've seen from January, February, March, April, May, June, July. All these fights, all these big fights, the drama, everything. That's what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. You know, we've had a great year of boxing. Boxing has been amazing. That's what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. My peoples, I'm out of here, man. One love to each and every one of you for tuning in. This has been another episode of Boxing for Breakfast. I hope that you guys enjoy it. I definitely enjoyed 100% bringing this sweet science to you guys. I'm getting the hell out of here. Enjoy your day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.